was the highest that it ran?
All the way to 4.5.
Came all the way up to about 14,000. The book tells me that they want me to set it at 12,000 without a cutting head. And so when I screwed it out, and the problem is it's vibrating, so trying to keep your screwdriver in there is fun. But I turned it out, and it went up. I hit a maximum of 14,000. That was the lean. When I went further than that, actually I was going in. When I went in, it went to 14,000, then all of a sudden the RPMs dropped down again. As I came back out, I went up to 14, and then I came back down. When I kept coming out, the RPMs dropped clear down to almost 9,000. What I was doing is, all I was changing was my fuel mixture, the amount of fuel that was going into that engine. And so when I leaned it out, I went in, I leaned it, the RPM, or the fuel went down. When it gets lean like that, it actually burns so efficient and it's so hot that the RPMs will climb. If you go too lean, it simply runs out of fuel then. So when I backed it out and I put too much fuel, what you're doing is basically flooding it. It gets a lot of excess fuel in there and it just can't burn very well. You have so much fuel but not enough air. That's why the RPMs drops back down. And so you can physically see that. We're going to go ahead and put the cutting head back on and see how that changed the RPMs. If you look at this thing, in order to get the cutting unit off, it screws on by hand. And this piece goes up. They sell you, when you buy it, a special tool, and it's designed to get the cutting unit off. You stick the tool down this hole, and that hole lines up with a notch, and that holds this cutting unit while you take the cutting head off. That's what it's for. So people get that little tool, and it's just a little round bar, and they're like, wonder what this is for, and they throw it away. So don't throw it away. If you don't have it, you just need something round that fits in here. Should go this way. There we go. What you notice there, when we went back and actually put the meter back on with the attachment in place with the proper length string, is the RPM actually dropped clear down to 8,000, 8,500 RPMs. And so the only difference, without changing the carburetor, was adding the attachment back on. If you were to actually set the machine without taking the attachment off of the machine, you would actually misadjust the carburetor. That would cause the machine to actually run lean. So by following the tech manual, setting it with the proper attachments where they tell you at the right RPMs, this machine will be set correctly. If you adjusted the RPMs, you adjusted it, made it 8 inches, it was cut off by the guard, but you started it and ran it and tried to set this at 12,000 RPMs, you would have to lean it out really bad to get 12,000 RPMs. And this thing would seize pretty fast. So that's why it's important to understand, when do you adjust it, what should it sound like when I adjust it, and really, you need to go back to the tech manual. This tech manual will give you information on whether you have a string head on it, whether you have a blade on it, or don't have any cutting in at all. It gives you the variables that you need to adjust it the proper way. In the specifications chart, like you guys looked at earlier in the year, it says maximum permissible engine speed without a cutting tool is 12,000 RPMs.